I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers fade as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this exploration today. We're looking at Lesson 221 from A Course in Miracles.
Yes, the lesson is, peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still.
And this isn't just another lesson. It's the very beginning of Part 2 of the workbook. That really signals a shift. It's an invitation into a different kind of space.
That's a great way to put it. Part 2 feels more like an invitation to receive. There's less focus on doing something and much more on just being present. It's almost like the Course is saying, okay, you've done the groundwork, now let's just sit together and listen.
So truly, wherever you are right now, maybe your mind feels peaceful, maybe it's all over the place, maybe you feel really connected or perhaps a bit distant from it all. It doesn't matter. You're in the right place.
You're definitely not alone in any of those feelings.
And if something we talk about today or the lesson itself really strikes a chord or maybe even feels challenging, we genuinely do want to hear from you.
Absolutely. You can always email us at ACIM@theworldharmonyproject.org. We're also on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for at the World Harmony Project.
We've actually gotten some really thoughtful comments on TikTok recently, and we'll share one later that ties in perfectly with today's themes.
And just a reminder, we always keep your comments anonymous unless you specifically tell us otherwise. We assume you prefer that privacy.
Okay, so let's step into Part 2. We'll begin with that initial section, the one titled, What is Forgiveness? Because it really sets the stage.
Yes, it does. As you probably noticed, if you're following along daily, Part 2 opens right up with, what is forgiveness? This isn't accidental.
No.
It immediately signals a shift. These little introductory sections before the lesson groups, they're designed to move us past just, thinking about the ideas.
Towards actually experiencing them.
Exactly. Towards direct experience, towards stillness, and allowing truth to just reveal itself.
And putting forgiveness right there at the very start of Part 2 says so much. The Course calls it the central theme of salvation, doesn't it? Holding the whole thing together.
It does.
But the way it's described, it's different. It's framed as a stillness. A quiet seeing that the sin, the wrong we thought happened, it actually didn't. Not in ultimate reality.
And it's so important, as we often discussed, to clarify, this doesn't mean pretending you don't feel hurt or that certain actions didn't seem to happen.
Right. It's not denial.
No,
Yeah.
It's about questioning the meaning you assign to it all. The Course shows how the ego, that sense of being separate, loves those stories of being wronged. It uses them to keep the illusion going and project its own sense of guilt onto others.
The world's version of forgiveness can often feel like putting up with something you still believe was definitely real and definitely wrong.
Grudging tolerance, perhaps.
Yes. But the Course asks for something much deeper. To let go of the whole story, the entire premise that an attack occurred or that you made one.
Which can sound, frankly, a bit wild at first. Maybe even impossible.
And that's okay. The invitation isn't to feel it perfectly right now, but just to open your mind a little. To consider a new way of seeing.
And that's why the Course says forgiveness does nothing. Truth doesn't need fixing.
It just is.
Right. Forgiveness just helps us remove the layers of illusion we've piled on top. Lets them fall away. Now that can feel vulnerable because those stories feel like us.
They define our identity sometimes.
They do, but nothing real is lost. Instead, space opens up. Space for something truer to come through.
Which connects so beautifully to today's lesson. Peace to my mind. Let all my thoughts be still. It's not saying think better thoughts or figure this out.
No.
It's asking for a cessation of thinking altogether, a letting go, allowing the quiet that's already there. Notice it's let my thoughts be still, not make my thoughts be still.
That distinction is crucial. It's surrender, not effort.
Okay, let's read the lesson itself. I'll read the first paragraph.
Sounds good.
Peace to my mind. Let all my thoughts be still. Father, I come to you today to seek the peace that you alone can give. I come in silence. In the quiet of my heart, the deep recesses of my mind, I wait and listen for your voice. My Father, speak to me today. I come to hear your voice in silence and in certainty and love. Sure, you will hear my call and answer me.
Now do we wait in quiet? God is here because we wait together. I'm sure that he will speak to you and you will hear. Accept my confidence, for it is yours. Our minds are joined. We wait with one intent, to hear our Father's answer to our call, to let our thoughts be still and find his peace, to hear him speak to us of what we are and to reveal himself unto his Son. There's such a beautiful intimacy in that language, isn't there? It feels very unguarded, just showing up, ready to wait.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I sit with that intention, it doesn't feel peaceful immediately. Sometimes restlessness comes up or doubts. But what's changed for me is I don't see that noise as meaning I'm failing. I just sort of let it be there while still leaning into the quiet underneath it all.
I was really struck this time by the line, God is here because we wait together. That idea of shared stillness. The Course constantly reminds us peace isn't just a private internal thing. It's shared. It's relational. So even when I sit down alone, the prayer for stillness is joining with all minds.
That joined intent is powerful.
Actually, that line helped me just the other day. I was trying to practice feeling so scattered and remembering we wait together that my little effort wasn't isolated. It was contributing to something much larger that shifted things for me.
And then there's that line, accept my confidence, for it is yours. How do you hear that?
For me, it feels like the Course or the voice for God speaking directly to us, saying, look, I know you can do this. Your mind has this capacity.
Yes, it's an invitation to receive peace, not to struggle for it or earn it. It's like saying you don't have to feel ready. Just be willing. Just desire it.
That invitation to simply wait in shared quiet, it feels like the deepest kind of trust. I used to think spiritual practice was about, getting it right, performing correctly. But this points towards rest. A rest that's always available if we just stop trying so hard to manage the moment.
And this is where forgiveness becomes so practical, so essential. If the mind is full of grievances, defenses, attack thoughts.
Stillness is impossible.
Exactly. You can't hear anything through that noise. Forgiveness clears the static. It makes the space for that voice, for God to be heard.
So today's message feels like, let go of the inner chatter that hides the peace that's already yours. The ego wants movement, story, conflict, figuring things out.
Constant interpretation.
Right. But peace is underneath all of that. Now, that's hard to grasp sometimes when we feel so identified with the body and the ego's perspective.
It is.
But the Course keeps affirming, peace is already here. And not feeling it instantly isn't failure. The real measure is just the willingness. That willingness to let thoughts be still opens the door.
That sums it up well. Peace is inherent. Forgiveness gives us access. Silence is the way in. And even if you sit in silence and think nothing's happening, stay with it. That's often where the real work, the real integration happens.
That actually leads to a listener question we received. Someone wrote in expressing some anxiety about this shift into part 2.
Okay.
He said, essentially, I've been doing the lessons daily and listening along here, which helps. But now with part 2, the lessons are short. I feel a bit lost. What if I'm not really ready? What if I try to listen and just hear nothing?
Oh, I so appreciate that honesty. That feeling is incredibly common. I remember it vividly myself. It does feel different.
Yeah.
Less structure, less explicit direction. If you've gotten used to the daily rhythm of part 1, it can feel a bit like the floor dropped out. You might wonder, is this it? Am I doing enough?
And underneath that often is the fear, maybe I'm not good enough for this part, not spiritual enough, not calm enough.
Exactly. That worry about inadequacy.
But here's the thing the Course emphasizes. Your readiness, it's shown by your willingness to just show up each day, to open the book, read the lesson, give it your attention. That's it.
That is it. You're showing up, your commitment, that's your readiness. Nothing more is asked.
The very act of noticing the uncertainty and being willing to sit with it is the practice right now.
Yes. And it helps to remember what part 2 isn't asking. It's not demanding perfect silent meditation from day 1. It's not asking you to instantly switch off your thoughts.
Just to be willing.
Just to come into the quiet with the intention to hear. Whether you perceive a voice or just experience a subtle shift, that willingness itself is transformative.
I can share too that the first time I went through part 2, there were many days I'd read the lines, sit quietly, and honestly feel nothing specific. I wondered, am I missing the point? But gradually I realized the practice wasn't about manufacturing an experience. It was about trusting the stillness itself. Just being present, even if the mind felt busy, without needing to fill the quiet. Allowing silence is the practice.
So if it feels like nothing is happening, you are not doing it wrong. If it feels unfamiliar, even a little uncomfortable, that doesn't mean you're failing. It often means you're right on the edge of growth.
You've walked with these ideas, lesson by lesson. Now, the Course is just walking with you into a quieter room. You don't have to earn your way in. You just enter as you are.
Beautifully said.
Now, before we wrap up, we wanted to touch on that TikTok comment we mentioned earlier. It was quite profound.
Yes, it was in response to a video where we asked, do you believe God lets bad things happen to make us stronger? Which touches on common interpretations of suffering.
And this viewer wrote very directly, God has nothing to do with Earth. We had one thought of separation.
Yeah.
Now we live it.
Yeah, that might sound stark, maybe even a bit shocking initially, but it really does capture a core teaching of the Course.
It does.
The Course suggests this world wasn't created by God. It arose from that initial belief in separation, from the ego's thought system. So in that sense, God has nothing to do with Earth, as in the origin of this dreamlike state aligns with Course metaphysics.
But, and this is the crucial, hopeful part the Course emphasizes and what today's lesson points to, even though God didn't create the dream of separation.
He didn't abandon us in it.
Exactly. His love is constant. And he provided the answer. The Holy Spirit.
The guide, the interpreter.
Right. The presence within our minds that can take every single illusion, every experience within this dream, and use it to lead us back to remembering who we are.
So while the world might be based on separation, it's also the classroom where we remember unity. That's why the Course says things like, all things are lessons God would have me learn, not because God causes the difficult lessons.
But because anything and everything within the dream can be used for healing, can be reinterpreted for awakening.
Perfectly put. So thank you again to the listener who shared that comment. It really helped crystallize an essential, though sometimes challenging, aspect of the Course.
So as we move forward into part 2, the encouragement is really just, don't worry about feeling ready. Keep showing up.
Allow the inner noise, the thoughts, to just settle as they will. Trust that the peace is there, patiently waiting underneath it all.
Remember, the goal isn't becoming a master of silence overnight. It's simply the willingness to enter that quiet space.
Even if you bring your uncertainty, your restlessness right into that quiet with you showing up to receive whatever is found there is incredibly powerful.
We'll continue this exploration tomorrow with Lesson 222.
Until then, thank you for sharing this time with us. Perhaps you can take this thought with you. I welcome the stillness where God meets me. I do not need to understand it. I only need to enter it.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.